Welcome back to MCOC AlBundyRules. I have the final chapter, chapter 3 of this month's November update event quest for November 2020, in which is the Immortal Hulk. I already have chapter 1 and 2 up. Here, looking at the notes, I see skill attackers get a big benefit, especially those that have debuffs that will expire quick. So a couple names come up top of my head. I'm looking at a little mini in the middle there. Nothing that really sticks out for me on the nodes. Looking here on a possible path. So I'm scouting out my path and I'm looking at the boss. I see the limber node. I see that. I gotta love that little devil Hulk base. Wow, what is that? That's I like it, making me laugh. Radiation exposure. Okay, I'm not too familiar with. Well, I have zero familiarity with this Immortal Hulk. Haven't even seen any gameplay of him yet, so going in blind. So I'm bringing in some safety nets. That's going to be the reason for a little bit of my selection. But my theory on my team here is my Nick Fury should get me through pretty much the entire path, ideally with Blade as a backup in case I slip. And the rest are pretty much just in case for that boss, because I really don't know what to expect with the new champ, with those nodes and that funny looking face on those active nodes on the path. So what I'm doing here is I actually want the debuffs to expire quick. It's going to help me get those Furies, and Nick Fury is perfect for that. So you're going to see me ending all my combos on light. It gives me that extra bleed, and they expire quicker. So I'm already at 14 Furies without even really much effort whatsoever. My logic seems to be working when I brought Nick Fury in here, and that was completely effortless. So as I assumed, Nick Fury will be ideal for this chapter 3.1, at least for most of the fights. Just follow that basic logic. Looking at this, debate with myself on, I don't see anything that's too outrageous. Do I want to go with the same thing with the class disadvantage? I'm probably going to avoid class disadvantage when I can under most circumstances. And I brought Captain America Infinity War. We saw him dominate parts of Chapter 2 for me, but I brought him here just as kind of a safety net. And I'm figuring, I was arguing between him and Doom for this fight. I decided to go with Captain America just because he's got that little bit extra utility and durability. And I wasn't too sure with some of the nodes on this Namor, so I wanted to go with some durability there. So far, simple, easy strategy is working fine. Of course, still fairly early in the fight. So I did bring kind of just as some utility, not too sure what to expect on some of these fights, but that's why watching these videos can be helpful for y'all. I'll figure out some of the question marks that will make it easy when you go through. And we're seeing the first question mark, Namor. Captain America seems to be working more than fine for this so far. Of course, that Immortal Hulk with those nodes on there is a big question mark too. So I do have this Captain America for that. I also brought a Doom along. Probably won't be the greatest for the Immortal fight. However, I did bring him along for any possible issues I might have with power control along the way. Other than that, like I said, I'm really expecting Fury to do most of the legwork on the path, with Blade as his backup. And here doing some simple fighting against Namor. Nothing fancy, nothing over the top. Just that simple parry heavy or parry medium heavy. You will see a lot. Trying to make sure not to take any massive special damage. Baited that special 2 out. Do some massive damage there with that special 2. Trying to wrap up this fight painlessly. And we should be wrapping it up right about there. Down goes Namor. Nice simplified. So Captain America Infinity War strategy were perfectly fine for there. So now I'm going to move up of Hyperion. That's the big reason I brought my Doom with me, was for this fight. Doom makes Hyperion pretty dang easy most of the time. Taking a quick check on here. Even though skills get the advantage on here, I'm not trusting my skills of the Hyperion and the power gain possibilities. So I am going to go with Doom to try to make this a lot more simple. Of course, any power controller should work fairly well here. Well, at least not all, but a lot. Preferably Doom or Claire would be my top two off the top of my head preferences for Hyperion. And we'll see. Working on up, I'm going to try to get his power up, the defender's power up a little bit before I launch that S3. And of course, he's launching specials when I don't want him to. It's the way it always works. You want them to launch a special, they won't. You don't want them to, and that's what they do. So let's go and knock out that S3 now. He's got enough power to where I can get back going. Can make do with that. And get into the going on. Make sure I take that power. So goal here, trying to get back to that S3 before he launched the special. Unfortunately, he got the special before. And then I got a little distracted. Took a couple punches to the face. But a few punches to the face adds character to Doom right there. Alright, so we're go ahead and knock out that S3. Fight's pretty clean with the exception of the minor mishap, which wasn't too detrimental. Kind of had a finger slip there. Cost me a hit in that combo, but nothing that's going to hurt me. And seeing what he's doing. And should be wrapping this. Ooh, missed my heavy right there. But that's okay. Got back up to my S3, and that should be the end of the fight. If the S3 doesn't finish him off, the combo afterwards is sure to, but not even a need. Knockout. Time to move on to the next. Now we got Hela. So a little debate on my side. I got a few debates. One, do I want to build up some charges for my Captain Marvel movie I brought just in case as kind of a safety net for the boss fight? Wasn't too sure what to expect with him. Do I want to use Doom for the class advantage, or do I want to go back to my Fury strategy? So a few good choices here. Debating the pros and cons and decide to go with Fury. Because I'm fairly positive I can cheese through this fight with Fury. Based on those nodes, extremely simple. And getting through the path as simply as possible. Leaving as much firepower for the boss that I can, the better. Especially when I have zero familiarity on that boss, how he fights, his specials, or the nodes. So the more safety net I leave for that, the better. So keep it simple in the meantime. I see her getting close. So I need to bait out that special too. And somehow my timing, I don't know how that second hit me, because that dex looked good to me, but I guess it wasn't. So it cost me to hit 2 and hit 3. Cost me some health, but not the end of the world. And down goes Hela. So far, making simple work of all the fights on this path. As expected, got Spider going on. She can be a little tricky sometimes. I didn't bring a great evade counter other than, of course, Nick. But I would have to knock him really down to his out of decoy mode to make him great against the evade. And I don't want to lose that if I don't have to. So I'll try to play safe-ish anyways. Again, I'm probably here going to focus on mediums, but I got to be a little quicker than that as I got evaded, because that is going very fast on those stuns. But point of being those medium is that's going to give me 2 bleeds in the time of the stun duration to avoid her evading me. And as those bleeds tick off, I'm getting a Fury charge based on the node. So we see my Furies building on up over there. So this seems to be decent strategy, at least when I am quick. Oh, she just straight up decks me and punished me. I don't know when the AI got so good at dexting, by the way, but they've been doing that to me every so often when I'm not expecting it. Just kind of decks me out of nowhere. Punish me, but it's okay. Still got plenty of health, still got my decoy. With the exception of a couple little bad timing aspects on mine, it's been a fairly smooth fight. Nothing too bad. Could be a lot worse. And went ahead and finished her off. Moving on down the path now. Made short, easy work of the path. Now at the boss. Not a whole lot of fights. I got this Immortal Hulk. Have never even seen him in action. I have no clue what to expect. I probably should have been smart and check a little video or learn about him or even read his description. I did not do any of that. I like to make things a little more fun. I like to learn on the fly. I love that Devil Hawk picture though. That is awesome. It's making me laugh every time I look at it. So I'm looking at radiation exposure. Okay, I don't know what that stuff means really. So I'll figure it out as I go. I decided, you know what? I brought Blade here really as a backup for fear in case I made a mistake. Never really needed him, so let's go ahead and use him here. I do got his bleeds from parry I can use, and I'm going to kind of use Blade to kind of feel out this fight. Not really knowing what I'm getting into. I'll just do as much damage as I can on this fight. If I solo him, then that's a bonus. I really never expect to solo a boss fight of a new champ on nodes I'm not familiar with first time through, but sometimes I surprise myself. Well, my goal is to kind of get a feel for him and do as much damage as I can. I got a full team, so I am not worried at all at this point, keeping it item free, smooth sailing. But so far this fight's been rather straightforward, simple. This S1, okay, is very easy to dodge. Evade, so that's good. I know I can do that S1 very easy, but now I'm pushing him to S2. Let's see how this one goes. Most of the time when I see a new special for the first time, I'll just take the block. I'm not going to try to dex what I don't know what's coming because, okay, got a feel for it now. So, but fight's going well, so no need to get fancy. Got another S2 coming on. Yep. Make sure I bait. Okay, I got a kind of a feel for it. Took a little chip shot on the last one. Getting a feel for that timing on those projectiles. Always trying to learn projectile timing on you. But his S1's super easy, so as much as I can for the rest of the fight, I'm going to try to concentrate on baiting out that S1. Make it simple. I would recommend the same since that one's super easy to evade. This is heavy. Alright. And I should be able to finish him off with the S2 here. And, oop, he's got some immortality unblockable. But, you know what? Let's just go ahead and there we go. I think that should work. And, well, whatever just happened, cool. All I know is I had that S1 interception. Just ended that fight for me when he was getting ready to do some crazy stuff. So I'm not even sure what he was getting ready to do. But Blade had nothing to do with it. I hope you enjoyed that first part of 3.1. Now we're going to go to 3.2 next and give you a nice easy walkthrough, show you some ways to get through these fights item free. Moving on to chapter 3.2 now. So chapter 3.2. Looking at the team, we're going to take a look at the nodes now. We saw 3.1 go smooth. We've seen all three chapters, 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.2, and 3.1 all go super smooth so far on the videos. Got each chapter on a video for 3 total videos. We're seeing Cosmic gets an advantage on 3.2. Also saw that we need champs that can get a lot of buffs. We saw that little mini boss over there, and we see the main boss, this funny looking, creepy looking thing. I see that the Hulks and She-Hulks get like a Fury advantage after a slight disadvantage. So that's going to bring into account my team. I am going to bring Cole and Hyperion for my main path clearers. I'm bringing Hulk Rags specifically for the end boss fight based on that. And I am bringing Torch for the mini boss, Mephisto, and I'm bringing Max for Metal. That is my current philosophy. Could you switch some of these around? Absolutely. But I'm going to start off with Magneto here with this Ultron. Magneto absolutely annihilates these fights. I'm going to get my power up while I'm getting my prowess up. So a little medium heavy works well. Don't have to worry about charging yet. Hashtag metal. I can get as many indefinite prowess as I want from this method. So build them on up as I'm building my power up. Once I start getting close to 3 bars, I will start charging them. And I'm pretty much almost at 3 bars. Now is a good time to start charging. And charging. And charge in the middle of that charge. Go ahead and launch that S3. And if my calculations are correct, despite this high health percentage, Ultron is as good as gone. And yes, he is. Gotta love Magneto. Alright, so nice, simple, and easy. Moving on up. And here's the pure Iron Man. I was able to check the tags, and I always want to think this one's metal. Because he's Iron Man. How is Iron Man not metal? I guess whatever. I don't know. I don't know all that stuff. So he's not metal. So this gives me a good chance actually to start building on my Cole. Cole might be not the popular choice on this because you got to have 3 buffs and he's a ramp up champ. But something people forget about is his S1 is going to give me 10 buffs for the fight. So you see that? Sure, it's a combo count that I don't really care about right now, but that's going to make it to where I can do damage on Superior Iron Man. So if you want to bring Cole, just launch that S1 as you're building him up, and it's going to make things nice and easy. So some of you may remember on my Abyss 100% expiration, I did a Cosmic class. He was my choice, was the easiest choice ever in this game. As well, one, he was someone I wanted anyway, but my other 9 choices were like the worst possible cosmic choices in the entire game. The only one that wasn't terrible was Angela, but I already have her, so it would have been a dupe, and her dupe ability is, yeah, definitely not worth the Abyss Crystal. So I pulled him. I had a Cosmic Awakening gem for 6 months sitting in my 6-star, it was sitting in my stash for like 8 months. So I used it. No one else to use it on, so figured I like Cole and got him as R2 now. And so we're going to see some reason as to why I do like Cole. And although you will see me do some blocks and parries on him, as needed, you won't see me too much, but all I need to do is really get through the path on him while playing fairly safe. Because I do want to get to the boss with as much as my team is humanly possible. Especially as I mentioned on 3.1, when I have a new champ I'm finding that I've never even seen before, and I've never even seen any abilities, nothing on that abomination. So that concerns me, and those nodes. So I want to have as much of my team there as possible to make sure it's an item-free run. I did notice that boss had different nodes talking about poison damage and stuff. So I want to make sure, even though Hyperion is brought for a path clearer, I want to have as much of him available for the last fight as his poison immunity in case I'm not able to get it done with my R4 Hulk Rags. So I'm really going to rely on my Cole here for as much as possible as the path clearance as I can while I'm building him up. We get some fun Cole play. Alright. And we'll see. He's still got a little bit to get ramped up. He's on the early stages, but he does pretty dang good damage even this early on. And when I use someone like Cole, you'll see me do a little more careful gameplay as far as trying not to take too much blocks. So you'll see me bait more heavies and specials, punish them. You also see me do a little more intercepting. It depends on what champ I'm using. as long as I can get him to fulfill my purpose, which is to get me through most of this path. He has fulfilled his purpose. If I have at least 4 champs available for the boss fight, I am happy. He is not what I need for the boss fight because I have a feeling poison immunity is going to be needed based on reading the nodes. So Cole's not even going to be a good boss option most likely. That's the way I got my Hulk Rags and my Hyperion I'll need. So continuing to hit hard on that Gamora. Nice, easy win. So far, Cole has been doing very well for me on these nodes. And I think Hyperion would be the obvious choice for 3.2 for a lot of people, but I think Cole can do it just as good, if not even better, for a lot of these fights. Like I said, I'd rather save Hyperion for the boss as much as possible. So I brought Torch specifically and really only for this fight. Probably won't see him again. I just want to go ahead, get a nice, clean, easy fight. I have strong faith that I can get the path clear with between 1 or 2 of my Cosmics. I have faith I can clear the boss with a couple of my champs, so I had the luxury to go ahead and bring Torch here just for this fight. And I could also try him on the boss, possibly. If he'd be effective on him, not sure, but even if he gets some damage done. But make this a nice, easy fight. I was looking at Mephisto, can be kind of a pain sometimes, depending on who you're trying to fight him with. Additionally, between that healing and that incineration. So let's just make this nice and easy. And those nodes, wasn't too sure, so play the safe route and just cheese them with this Torch. That's why people like Torch. Now we got Kingpin coming on up. So I'm going to go ahead and may as well use some more Cole here as I'm still building him up. He's only got 5 of those Thanos favors. One thing though I do got to try to remember on Kingpin is he will end debuffs fairly quick, fairly often, which includes on any stuns, things like that. One thing I do like about Kingpin, he is like the easiest champ in the game, or one of the easiest to heavy bait, heavy counter, or counter heavy special ones with. So I can get tons of armor breaks on him super easy. And I'm realizing I'm not taking damage because I forgot about my Thanos favors expired, so I had to get that S1 to get those buffs going again, so I can start doing damage. I wasn't paying attention to my damage output, but I have fixed that. See, doing some armor breaks, so you'll see me do a lot of heavy counter heavies on him. While doing some damage as well. On this S1 go to the back. The only thing is, though, I'm getting these armor breaks on him, but he shrugs them off fairly quickly sometimes. I much prefer baiting his S1. I can evade his S2 pretty good most of the time, but I prefer his S1 because it's super easy and I can easily counter with that heavy, which I want to heavy counter that S1 with Cole for those armor breaks, more beneficial for me. The S2 not going to be able to heavy counter like that. So continue moving on. I'm waiting for that timer to refresh. Get this nice armor break. So now I got route. Took a little block damage. I was getting the route going, but get some damage. I didn't really capitalize on it first time through, so try to do it a little better this time. I did push an S2, but boom, boom on the decks. Clean free on the unblockable S2. And we'll now, again, trying to minimize too much block, but his block proficiency is not good, but it's not like a few blocks are going to kill him like some people over dramatize. So if you take a few block hits, if you take a few parries, it's by far not the end of the world. We've seen he can be a lot more sustainable than a lot of people pretend. Knock out those armor breaks again. And at this point, This fight's taking a little longer than I thought. I blame myself for not bringing him up to an S3 with the route, which is what I should have done, and something I show in the 4-minute tutorial I did with him. If you're not too familiar with Cole, I do have a great tutorial, 4-minute tutorial video, in the 4-minute tutorial series I did on him. Shows a lot of stuff and how to get his damage even higher than what we've seen. So at this point in the fight, I'm realizing, you know what, I just can go ahead and end this if I play a little bit smarter. So bringing up to that S3 will be part of on here. Also, I'm waiting for that route timer. So I got me some armor break. I'm going to get me some route. And now that route activated while I was avoiding that. So let's do this S3. And in combination of all that stuff, this fight is as good as over, I'm sure. And yes, it is. Nice, good damage there. Probably should have done that a little bit earlier in the fight, but it's okay. Kingpin's play style kind of move around towards it as long as we get him down. So be it. So super tempted to use Magneto here. Now that Corvus is considered a hashtag metal, but I'm having fun with Cole. So I'm going to go ahead and use Cole here. I got him at 7 Thanos favors now, which is a pretty good amount. Getting some decent damage as we see, just off of that alone. Get my combo shield buff up. Done my route. And getting my armor breaks going on. So doing that damage. And just keep on hitting away on him. Fight going smooth so far. Barring no silly mistakes. Smooth sailing. I'm going for that S3 at this point. And my timing was just off right there. Silly mistake, but I got my route. I got my S3. And that fight got a little ugly. But then again, this is the end of the path anyways. Still got the rest of my team, so no worries on this. Cole is looking in bad shape, so I'll give it the rest of the 5%. And I got Dex and punished. Yeah, seeing a lot of them just AI has become like Dex super gurus. If you saw that one, he just straight up Dex me and punished me in the face. But that's okay. He's got a 5%. Path is as good as done. So Hyperion's just been kind of warming the bench, which is not something you really say often with Hyperion, especially on cosmic buff type of nodes like these fights. So he'll finish off that Corvus. But I did have fun with Cole. Gotta have some fun with some of these champs too. So got me to the end. No, we got this. Oh, this dude. Oh, yeah. Who designed him, man? I don't know if that's comic book accurate or not, but that is some creepy, weird looking stuff. Anyway, so we got this Smash Bash stuff. That's why I bought my Hulk rags. I see this throwback, acid erosion, so I'm pretty positive he's going to have some kind of poison debuff, so I want to bring a poison champ in here. This is really why I wanted to save Hyperion for the end. I didn't want him to lose too much health clearing the path, so that's why I relied on Cole, because Hyperion is poison immune, and we're seeing the immune popping up already. So I believe that was a smart call. Make sure you bring a poison immune here. We're starting off. It's looking like Hyperion is going to be a very good. Checking out this S1. Okay, that S1 is super simple to deck, so it's long, but just several dash backs. And as we're seeing, Hyperion looks like a pretty good counter to this Immortal Abomination so far. Okay, they see that S2. Ooh, that one, man, even through the block, did some serious damage. So based on that, we very obviously want to bait that S1 as much as possible before going higher. S1 was super easy. I could try practicing that dex on the S2, but might try it later. First time fighting someone in a boss fight I'm not familiar with is not the best time to be practicing fancy. See some bad timing on my side there. Weaknesses are kicking in, so it is hurting my damage output. Get those Furies, chain an S2 off of it. Kabam likes these long specials lately to where they make you just keep swiping dash back as fast as you can. Not the biggest fan of those, but so be it. Could be worse. But we see this Immortal Abomination can do some serious damage even through the block. Seems some like 3,000 damage through a block being taken, so be careful on that. Haven't taken any hits, but my nearly full health Hyperion's already done at 35% just through some basic blocks. But he has exceeded what I needed from him. I just needed to really use him to get a feel for this fight, with the plan of he was kind of my tester. Really brought Hulk Rags on to deal with this fight technically, but wanted to get a feel for him first, and clearly got a pretty good feel. Pretty simple fight, and took a few hits on there. I'm down to 5% based on some mistakes, so at this point I'm just going to do whatever damage I can and let Hulk Ragnarok finish him off. May as well. And I just took that S2 right in the head. Tried to dex it, trying to learn that timing, because I knew the block damage was going to kill me, but that's okay. Still got most of my team left. Bring in that Hulk Ragnarok. Get it going on. And this Hulk Rag is only an R4. So we'll be doing a ton of damage, but I don't need a ton of damage right now. I just need to chip him away. And working fairly good. I had seen something while Hulk Rag is supposed to get some unblockable and 60% or something attack Fury after 10 Furies on them, but I haven't seen that kick in yet, so I'm not sure if I misread it or something's not working right, but I expected Hulk Rags to get his 8-second Fury buff by now, but I honestly don't even need it, so keep fighting away. Got some smash going on. This guy can't seriously take some hits though. And figures now when I don't need it anymore, I got the Fury unblockable. Took a while for that to activate from the node, but it doesn't matter. Easy fight, easy pass. So that completes all 3 chapters, chapter 1, 2, and 3. This being the final video, 1 video per chapter. Watch the other 2 videos if you have not seen them yet to help you get through. Thank you for watching. I hope these video walkthroughs help you complete this new update.